You guys know how it works by now. We're getting super close to the end, so we're just gonna fly through this one. Because next time we have a pretty bad one. But let's get through these ones first. What's up, what's going on? Welcome back to the Animation, which is for anything animation, including a sponge lids and a pineapple under the sea, as well as TV and movies. I'm your host, Jackson Small. Welcome to today's SpongeBob Mom Chapter 5 review. 20,000 Patties Under the Sea, Battle of Bikini Bottom. You guys know how it works by now. Both these episodes are okay to good, so you will get rankings at the end of this. Let's dive in. This is one that I was definitely looking forward to rewatching, because it's one I haven't seen in a while, but honestly, I kind of remember why I forgot about it. Because the episode itself is just fine. It has a cool title. It's a nice pun on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. But I don't know. The episode is just unremarkable. So what happens in this episode? Well, SpongeBob and Patrick find a submarine, and Mr. Krabs decides to convert this submarine into a mobile Krusty Krab. Because, he's gotta make money in every way imaginable. So there's that, and of course, Plankton gets involved because if it's a Krusty Krab story, it's gotta have Plankton trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula and/or customers, because that's not overdone at this point. And of course, this is also where you get some of modern SpongeBob's worst traits. You have Patrick being stupid, you have SpongeBob getting flanderized, you have his very weird, unsettling obsession with Squidward, and a couple jokes that just don't work. But, like I said, the episode itself is still okay, because I think the actual main part of the story with the submarine is actually pretty good. Barring Patrick being stupid, as per usual. But, mid-season stupid, not enjoyably, goofily stupid. Stupid as in, well, he can't cook. And he just cooks burnt patties. But honestly, that's a dumb moment on SpongeBob's part, because why would you even let Patrick grill? Stupid. And then the episode kind of ends on a weird note. They end up in a trench with a giant sea monster. They feed the sea monster their burnt patties. He likes them. He wants more. And then Plankton tries to stop them, only to end up getting turned into a mud chocolate eclair, and he gets chased off, and that's the end of his part of the episode. And then the episode itself ends with Krabs and Squidward reacting to them returning, breaking the window that was just fixed in the Krusty Krab, and the news that they dumped all the money in favor of giant color-coded rocks. Yeah, the ending sucks, and it kind of does sink the ship, pun intended. It does sink the ship for the most part. But then, of course, like I said, you have Patrick being annoying mid-season stupid. You have SpongeBob just acting dumber than he should be. He's not supposed to be dumber than Patrick. And Plankton being shoehorned in here for literally no reason. You could have cut him out and you wouldn't miss a thing. Well, I would say that if it weren't for the highlight of the episode, where he's suddenly in this yelling spat with a bunch of random people that are just standing in the middle of nowhere, including when the grandma comes up, and she's like, "Someone should put you in a mental hospital. Someone should put you in a box floating down the river, Grandma!" That's the one part I vehemently remember from this episode, because it later became a Vine. So yeah, that's another one of those good SpongeBob dark jokes. But outside of that, the episode's just forgettable. It's not bad, but it's just boring. I wish I had more to say about it, but I don't. It's just meh. It's as average can be. And because of that, if my YouTube would like to shut up for 5 minutes, it's a 5 out of 10 for the final verdict. It's an okay episode. It has one really funny part, and a cool concept and idea, but they waste it on mid-season stupidity. So, yep, nothing else to say. It's an average episode. Let's move on to the second one, Battle of Bikini Bottom. I can't really explain why, but I've just always liked this episode. I don't know if it's because it feels like a throwback to Fry Cook games with the rivalry between SpongeBob and Patrick, or I just like the war theme, or I just find it entertaining and silly, or it might be all of the above. I don't know. So, in this episode, the Battle of Bikini Bottom, not for Bikini Bottom, don't get it twisted. This is not an episode that led into the video game. Don't get it twisted. SpongeBob and Patrick decide to have a war against each other between clean and dirty. And they end up interrupting this war battle reenactment, which I think it's cool they actually have those in Bikini Bottom. So you have this war against each other. And the war itself's pretty entertaining, and the way they go at each other, trying to get each other either dirty or cleaned, is actually pretty funny, and it does lead to some great jokes. My highlight for the episode, it's easily just the war itself. The war itself is so much fun, from the eye bombs to the many ways that SpongeBob tries to get Patrick clean, and the way it ends with them both understanding why both are important in one way or another. Which is really nice. It's a sweet ending. So, a lot like Fry Cook games, yes, I'm gonna reference this episode a lot, because this is pretty much a carbon copy of that. It has a really nice, sweet ending, and does remind you of how good their friendship can be when it's actually written correctly. I wish I had more to say about it, but it's just a pretty good episode with a fun little clean versus dirty war with SpongeBob and Patrick. That's pretty much the entire episode. Think sandcastles in the sand, but not quite as memorable. And funny coincidence, this came out the season beforehand. But final verdict for this episode 7. It's a pretty good episode. I just wish I had more to say about it, but it's very self-explanatory. If you like episodes where SpongeBob and Patrick get into a competition with one another, you'll enjoy this episode. Or at least I think you'll enjoy this episode. I don't know. Yep, that's it. Time for final thoughts and ranking. Well, this was a pleasantly decent double feature for the day. Far from the best that we've ever had on this channel, absolutely not, but it was decent. It was okay. This was actually a pretty easy watch. So, coming in second place, and kind of sort of in shame, even though it's not in shame, because I don't think the episode's bad, is 20,000 Patties Under the Sea. It's just forgettable. That's its biggest problem. It's forgettable, it takes a really cool idea, and does almost nothing with it. That's pretty much all I'd say about that one. And then easy first place goes to Battle of Bikini Bottom. It's an underrated episode. I think it's actually pretty entertaining. I just wish I had more to say about it, but it's self-explanatory. That's the sucky part. It's so self-explanatory that you can't really elaborate on it. Because it's, well, a SpongeBob and Patrick rivalry episode. If you like those episodes from other seasons of the show, then you'll like this too. At least I hope so. I personally think the episode's pretty good, but I wouldn't blame you if you think it's mediocre. Well, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and, oh boy, we got a rough one tomorrow, let me tell you. Because next we gotta look at the final special of Season 5. And it's one that's actually just as bad, if not even worse, than Atlantis Scorpanus. Yeah, it's gonna be a real rough sit tomorrow. So, I'll join you next time when we dive into the dumpster fire that is Who Bob What Pants. Pray for my sanity. See you in the next review. We cannot take it anymore.